I tried zero latency for the first time in Bangkok. So I love traveling and I love trying new experiences. That's how I came across zero latency, because I was in Bangkok in January 2019, and someone just suggested that why don't you try this. Is like, they show you the experiences, what's there, and we said, okay, let's do this. I'd heard about it, of course, so I did want to try it, and the ratings were really good, so we went ahead. And after trying it, I must say, I mean, it was an amazing experience. I mean, anyone would have been blown away, and of course I was. I am not a gamer, I cannot watch television, but still, for a person like me, I was really awestruck, like, oh my god, this was like, I never imagined myself going into a time machine, but this was really like that, like transporting into a different world for a few minutes and then coming back into this real world and still feeling surreal. So that's the experience I had. And of course it was really like amazing, and I was like, oh wow, we should have something like this in India. And that is the time when I was thinking of doing something, because something new, or taking a new entrepreneur venture, because I was already doing a clothing line business, and I was looking forward either taking that forward or doing something new. And this came up, and this sounded really good, and having gone through the economics of it, etc., it made complete business sense. So we kind of sat through it and discussed it, and then of course we took it with the Australian company, and everything just worked out. So that's how we got associated. And then I launched, like, we started the conversation in Jan 2019, and I think August 2019 is when we launched it. So that is how fast, because we were so excited about it. It really got us kicking, that this is the time, let's get this to India and let's do this. So that's how I kind of got associated to this. I knew that gaming was picking up, having read, because of course if I'm trying to enter some segment, I started reading about it, and it kind of gave me the trends that it was picking up really well globally. Globally it was much bigger than what it was at that time in 2019 in India, but everyone was talking about it, people knew about it. There was already a shift that was happening within the gaming community. For instance, it was shifting from kids and from only guys or men to it, towards other section of the society, wherein all age groups were being involved. Even women were coming forward and they were equally participating. Even globally the same trend was being seen. So it was like, yes, this is an industry which will pick up, but pick up so fast. I mean, I didn't imagine it, fathom it that time at least. I mean, and of course COVID has given one of the winners in this whole bad times, and that is gaming. Though that's more on the online gaming segment is what I would be talking about, but it's coming in, like people are adapting to it. Also, people nowadays want experiential gaming. They just don't want a very, where one person is playing alone, etc. They want a social engagement. They want to experience new things along with the experience of gaming in it. So, all of that is kind of catching up a lot in India now. So that is why, so VR actually took a back step in gaming, in the whole online gaming boom. That is because it was a sedentary thing. It made you very solitary, and with gaming becoming so big, where people want social experiences like this, is what I see as the future. So I think gaming is picking up, which will of course kind of boost the industry as a whole. But as VR catches up to it, and more social gaming and experiential gaming is what people are looking for, and the more you give it to them, that will catch up the whole industry. So it is going a step ahead. It is adapting to new changes, to new technology, and VR is revolutionary. VR is the future. So I think yes, gaming, VR gaming, everything will just see a lot more happening, and a lot of more changes, a lot of more adaptations and new things coming in. So zero latency basically is a free roam VR concept, which is for the first time in India. It is present globally in around 43 locations across 23 countries. And so free roam VR allows a player to play in an open space which is almost 2000 square feet, untethered, and you're playing with your friends. So maximum 8 players play together at the same time in the same game. So that's the technology, wherein we give you a VR headset, we give you a backpack which has a computer, then there are headphones where you can interact with your teammates in the game. While you're in the game, you can strategize together, you can see each other in the avatar form. So accordingly, this facility has like a space which is 2000 square feet is only the play area, which is to estimate a size of a tennis court. which is pillarless, and we have motion tracking technology by which the players don't collide with each other, and you will not collide with the walls also, in spite of the VR headsets that you have. So that's the technology, and that's the space we have. Apart from that, there's a donning room, there's a doffing room. In the donning room, just before the games, we explain you how to play the games, what to look forward, what should the strategy be, and then there's a full size gun involved. So we tell you how to use the guns, how to change the guns, and how to score better. So it kind of gets you completely involved with your teammates in the game. And when you're in the game, you will not realize that you are actually playing a game. You will actually feel as if you're in a different world, because you're moving as much in the physical space as you're moving in the game, because of the area that we have in the game space, So that's the facility how it is. And yes, and after your games, you see your scores which come on your email. You have a doffing room where you take out all the equipments which you are wearing, and each and every equipment is sanitized after each and every gameplay. So there is no risk, no nothing. If you want, we sanitize right in front of you also. So yeah, so that's how the whole process and the space works. So Zero Latency has their own patented games which are present globally across. However, in India, I think we have a few extra games, because when we launched it in India, we were in version 2 of the whole thing, of the equipment, and not all games can be played in version 1. So we have an advantage. So there might be some games globally which are not available, but we have all of them in India. So that's the advantage that we have across, even being one of, though being one among the global companies, but India of course stands out again there. So that's one thing. Second, we don't decide, but we do review our customers. So there's a review form which is sent after each game to each player, and they tell us what they liked, what they didn't like, what they want. And accordingly, we have like a system in which we sit with those reviews and we analyze what the gamers or the players want. And then as we make new games, we kind of want to develop what people want and give them what they want. So this is like a global activity. So it will be something which is done across and what everyone wants, and then take into consideration. We don't leave any survey unseen. Each and every survey is taken care of and attended to personally, and we know what we are looking for. So for instance, in our arena, people love zombie games. So there's one of the games called Outbreak Origin, which is the highest selling, which is the long 30-minute game. And so the next game that was launched was again a zombie game, which is a 15-minute game, but it had more concept of more VR and more free roam VR. So we want to incorporate both free roam versus what themes people are looking for. So that is one way to look at. Secondly, so if you see in India, we have a 45-minute game time also that we offer, which is not there everywhere across the globe. Again, because we launched that because people at least at our center wanted it. So we kind of thought how to do it, and we gave that to them. So those are the minor things which we can do at our end, but universally the games are decided globally, and they patented by Zero Latency. So there will be no one else who can kind of use them. So we opened in August 2019, and we had a phenomenal response, like amazing is what I would say, which has helped us to survive the whole pandemic. That of course financially, yes, as well as that vigor in us that okay, no, our customers love us and this will work, there is no problem. I mean, people have shown immense amount of love. They've kept coming back, they've wanted more. Like I told you, from a 30-minute, when we launched initially, we only launched 2 game times, 15 minutes and 30 minutes. They forced us to bring in 45 minutes. So that's the kind of love that was shown to us, and we really had a very good time. We know each and every customers personally initially, because there was repetition was so much from the customers. We used to keep coming with friends. Word of mouth was the only kind of marketing tool which was done and which helped us. So that's how the product is, and that's how the customers showed their love. But of course the pandemic was very tough. I mean, we didn't expect it to get prolonged for so long, and now after the second wave it started hitting us really hard. I mean, the first wave, yes, we could kind of manage it. Then we reopened in December, but it was again so good to see all our old players calling back and coming back and asking us if we are open. And it was amazing. Like, I would not complain, apart from the fact that entertainment in India per se is not considered that big an industry, and therefore we are just kind of left out at the back seat, because If you speak of entertainment, people only consider movies, and that's what comes at the forefront. People talk about opening that segment, no one talks about us, and then we have to keep waiting and to understand whether we can open, when we can open. No one wants to understand the nitty-gritties of we are sanitizing each and every equipment. We are only taking private bookings wherein there's a social bubble created. So all of that, if that is advertised or help people get to know that, then and government understands that there's no risk in this kind of thing, then at least for us to open and run the business would have been a little more easier. But here we are just bucketed into theaters, and then where the sanitization is completely different from what ours is, from the way things flow is completely different. So we just bucketed with that, and that causes a little pain to us, because then business suffers. So that's why after the second wave, it's getting a little tougher. But I'm sure the love that we've got is just holding us, that stay there, we'll be back. So we're just waiting for that. For that matter, we have a game called Soul Raiders, which is a player versus player game, which is big in gamers community. Like if you have a player versus player game, it's like the world, and people who've played it come and play back to back those sessions. Like we really have to block, like we know these people will play for 4 sessions back to back. So we don't take bookings for that many sessions because they don't stop at one. So that's the kind of community we have coming, but we haven't hosted events per se right now because August 2019 is when we started. We launched Soul Raiders in India in January 2020, and since March we've not been in operation. So it didn't really pick up by then in the industry, apart from the people who had already played free roam with us. Because see, free roam is a concept where you need to get acquainted with the whole system. You can't come and play player versus player for the first time, you will not enjoy it. So we want people to first get accustomed to what free roam VR is. That's the whole reason why we launched Soul Raiders also a little late. So once that happens, and I'm sure once the gamer community is here, through word of mouth or through invitation or whatever, they will go for that game. And in fact, we have Soul Raiders tournaments across the globe, and which we will have in India also. And also acts like an e-sport event for us, because people love playing them and watching how they're scoring and what's happening. So it's like an e-sport gaming thing which we have with Soul Raiders. So which will pick up. Yes, we would love to do that. We would like sponsors who would like to do it with us. We don't mind doing it, but it's a matter of time. I think I like Outbreak Origins, the zombie one, which is the longer one. Like the whole, even when I tried it for the first time, I think with the whole helicopter experience and walking on the ledge, it's just amazing. And the many number of times that I play it, as many number of times I think I'm not going to get scared the next time, but it just doesn't happen. It's like always, and then you always want to have the top score. Like I feel I have the access to play it again and again, still I'm not on the leaderboard. Why? But then you realize that no, you really need passion, and you really need to be a serious gamer there to kind of achieve what you want. So yeah, so I think Outbreak Origins is my favorite. We want to take this pan-India, we will take this pan-India. It's just a matter of time, and I think the concept per se is so strong that it will work in the metros really well, especially places which have a little more young genre of crowd, for instance for a city like Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad. So I think in a few months time we should be launching somewhere the next one. I would say start talking about gaming arenas and gaming as a concept and as an industry, because that's becoming very big now. I mean, and if you start talking about it, there'll be more clarity for us also in the industry of what we are looking for. That helps us form associations and kind of speak about it, about the difficulties we are facing or the good things that we want. So it helps to create that community, and then we can represent ourselves, like how a movie industry or a theater industry is represented. Right now we have no representation, we are not considered big, but frankly we have much bigger scope than what movies today is, right? So that's where it is going. So if that is the thing, then we have to start talking about it from now. We have to start making that as a segment and talking about, like, yes, okay, for instance you could club us with in the gaming segment, like the bowling, then there are normal traditional VR arcades, then we have a free roam, which is of course right now only one in India. So if you start clubbing them, we have more clarity. There can be rules laid down as to what should be the sanitization protocol. For instance, they say for a movie theater, they should operate at 50% capacity. In the same way, if they allow us and they allow us with the limitation that okay, you can hold only private bookings, so at least that helps us to kind of justify that okay, we are okay, we are safe, and this is how we are running. But right now, to get that across to the consumer is very difficult because they don't consider it. There are no government guidelines which we can follow, and we can also say that okay, we are open with these steps, precautions being taken. So I think it really needs to happen now. I mean, after this whole pandemic, I think gaming industry becoming so big, we really need to start seeing it as a segment, start targeting it, start making policies towards it with reference to everything, like what should be followed, what shouldn't be followed, what benefits we should be getting. We should not be considered as theatres which are closed spaces completely. There is no private thing, there are too many people at the same time, which is very different from us. So which would just help us to not be clubbed into that, and business would get back easily, and it would help us to survive. That's one thing which I would like to say. Yeah.